Alright guys, what's up? Um, Little video here today, since I will be streaming tonight, since it's my birthday and all, I'm going to be out doing stuff with the wife and family and all that stuff. So, um, wanted to do a quick little thing here to show you guys real quick, well, probably not real quick, but to show you guys kind of like the magic that went into um, that. And I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. Triborg. So I said I wasn't going to talk much more about it, um, and I'm not. But I'm going to show you. I don't know if you call it a tutorial or a how-to or whatever. But I'm going to show you what went into making this. Okay. So I'm going to start. I'm going to spare you a lot of the more painful stuff. But I basically took snippets from different nameplates. So I had a sprite rip of the game, and um, from that sprite rip, I was able to grab letters out of them from like Shang Tsung, Sector, um, Noob Saibot, uh, stuff like that. Those different characters. So, and what I ended up with was this. I ended up ignore the green background. That was just so I could see uh, the lettering a little bit better. So that's what I ended up with. So what I did from there was within Photoshop, um, I uh, selected this color, uh, and then I selected the inverse of everything. So everything that was not that color got selected, pasted it into a new image with a transparent background, and this is what I got. It's not exactly the easiest thing to see, um, but I think this one's might be a little bit different, but it's essentially the same image. This one may have been cleaned up a little bit. Uh, so from there, I took uh, this file here, and we went into a proprietary tool here, and we opened it up. So what we have here is we have a palette that's created up here, and we have the sprite data that's created here. So yeah, what this nameplate is it's a graphic. It's not text that's put together or anything like that. All the nameplates are graphics. So what happens next is we take this this data here, this image data, we copy that image data, and then from there we're going to go into our hex editor, and this is 4 graphics chips interleaved. So we're going to go here, we're going to take our memory location that we've allotted for the nameplate, and we're going to copy these bytes in. So once we've got these bytes copied in, we have to start the fun stuff, which is getting these items uninterleaved. And so these have to be interleaved twice since they are 4 ROM files. Break them down into the top half and then the bottom half, or the bottom half, the top half, however you want to refer to them. And this takes a hot minute to do, not too terribly long, but when you're working with the stuff, it can be kind of arduous, especially if you're running back and forth fixing it and doing several different things at once. It can be a little bit tedious, but it is what it is. So this is the boring part. We're getting to the interesting part, I promise. So we'll do the same thing with this set. All right. So then from here, we take our those four and we're going to put them into our game ROM. Okay, so I've got to close this out. Start UMK3 back up. I'm actually going to have this a little closer to full screen so you guys can see. Get this out of the way for you. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to sub in that new nameplate in Katana's nameplate's place. Shrink this down just a touch. And then this palette data also needs to be copied over. Byte swap script, and we're not going to actually do anything with this palette right now because the second fun part of importing a nameplate like what I did for Rain is you have to work, and also the champion ladder graphic. So instead of having two master towers, you have something like Trilogy where it's novice, warrior, master, and champion. So we're going to leave this put for right here. So let's see. All right, so now I just have to get Katana's nameplate reference up. Find that real quick. Okay. And have to create the new sprite header. So we'll do that in just a second. To find the spot on the graphics ROM. I'll show you guys how to do that real quick. Not how to do that, but how I did it. It's probably the better way to say it. Alright, so we're going to need the calculator for this guy. Alright, so we take this value here. We're going to multiply it by 8, and then we're going to add the offset. That's the value that we need. Make this back over here. Okay. So let's find that real quick. Almost there. There we go. Make a little calculation here. Okay, we're actually going to use Kano's here because it's easier. And I'll show you the reason why we used that number here shortly. And we're going to pull our graphics address in. Okay, now this should... And the next thing I want you guys to do is that when this comes up, I want you to ignore what it looks like for now.
Round 1, fight.
Okay, so that is not what it needs to look like at all. There's good reason for that. Because the number is not 50. Because that's the decimal value is 50. And we convert that to hex. It's 32. Alright, so you'll have to ignore what this looks like because we're going to be modifying it. I'm going to go into how to do that. Okay. See how it came in and it doesn't really, well, look good at all. So this is where our little palette is going to come in. So I can pull that over here. Here we go. I'll shrink this down. So this kind of is the best way to describe how this works. So the sprite data that we pulled out is this right here. See these little numbers, 0101, 2, 5, A, etc. Okay. So each pixel for the sprite is is 1 byte, and the sprite corresponds to each value of the palette. So 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. So what we have to do, excuse me, is we have to look at the palette that this is assigned to. Now, granted, these life bars, or the nameplates for the life bars, obviously don't take up this many colors. However, this is a multi-use palette. So instead of creating a bunch of different palettes for different things, they created one palette and they assigned a bunch of stuff in the heads-up display up at the top of the screen to values in this palette when they created the sprites. So I have the palettes here, and I have the sprite data. It's off screen now, just so I can view it better. So each one of these corresponds to here. So to show you, okay, so we have to take the values here and plug them in up here for this to work, and I'm going to show you that. Now, this is going to mess up Scorpion's life bar, and it's going to mess up some other stuff on screen. But, so this is the 0 value, which is transparent. This up here is the 1 value, which is black, which is why when we open this, you see some black up here, and you see predominantly gray, because the 0, 1, 2, 3 palette value right here is this gray color here, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so just to demonstrate that, we're going to change this palette value to that, which is white for more basic terms. And you see how it's already shaped up. So let's do that for the entire palette really quick. I missed a color. Hold on. Fat fingered something. So you can see there is a much improved version of Triborgs. Triborgs, I say that with, I'm making air quotes with my hands, but you can't see that. But then, of course, you look over on the right-hand side and you see Scorpion's nameplate is all screwed up also. So, let me show you how I made the appropriate changes. Handy dandy world of Notepad. Okay, so this right here is the graphics. This is the sprite data, what you see right here. Okay. So what we have to do is we have to take each color palette value and match it up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that palette value, this up here, that's going to go down here. So this is palette value 1. So we're going to search for that, and there is no actual 2529 value. So we have to find, essentially, is the next closest, and it's one of the gray values. So let's change this to something to see how close we can get it, because it's really all we have to do. Okay. Let's change it here. So let's just do let's see how much it changes.
Flawless victory. Round 2, fight.
So you can see it doesn't change it very drastically. So that there are some small changes we can do after that, if need be. Okay. So we're just actually going to keep that as the palette color when we go to reassign this. So if we look for, we're going to find it here. So this is our 0 value. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to look here. I'm going to run a replace. Let's try really quick. I think that might actually be better.
Kano wins. Flawless victory. Round 3, fight.
The difference is fairly negligible for what we're doing anyway. So, alright, so 0, 1, 2, we're gonna go with that 294A. So we have our existing palette up here, or our custom palette that was created that we have to adjust for the existing. So the existing one's down here, so 0, 1, 2. So we're going to find all of the 1s, and we're going to replace them with O2. Now I do O2 because there are other 0, 2s up here. Okay, so we're going to do a replace all. You see where those values changed. So we're going to do the same thing with our 0, 2s. So we're going to find the corresponding value there, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to replace it with 04. Okay. 3. We replaced with that. So we're going to replace 0, 4, 5. Zero, 5. With C. And this goes on down the line. And that one was right there, so that was easy enough. 07 actually will remain unchanged, as will 08. So 09. C, D, E, F, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, A, B, C, D, E, F, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So that guy, we're going to have to do a little bookmark and call it 27 so we don't have to count up so much. A, B, C, D, E, F, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's way up there. Okay. Okay, and now we'll take the O's and replace with zeros. And there you go. What you have there is you have your brand new graphics setup. Now, this is kind of cool. I want to show you guys this really quick before I take this and import it back. So I'm going to show this to you in two ways. Like I said, because I think this is really cool. So we're going to take this, we'll copy it. I'm going to make a new 010 window. Okay, and this is what we have. Okay, so what we're going to do, remember I told you, I showed you earlier that it has a different width. Okay, so we're going to take this, we're going to take the width and we're going to set it to the line width of 50. That way we have 50 and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, we want to make sure we, yeah, so we do have all the lines available. Now, what is that main color, that whitish color? Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D. Okay, so watch this. And that is what you get when you find that main value within the hex editor. And you can actually do the same thing with your notepad file. How did I do this with my notepad file? Well, I knew I did this somehow. There we go. Sort of. Why are you doing this? That's why. The same thing should work here. It's actually not going to let us see it there, is it? I thought I had that done in Notepad, but I didn't, so. But regardless, so yeah, you see that. So you have Triborg. So that's a really neat way to see it in the text or the hex editor. So I showed you earlier the issue with I'll bring it back up. How I had this set wrong. I had this set to the decimal value, which was 50. And you see how it's all messed up like that. So let's set it to something a little more reasonable, but still messed up. Let's set to like 33. You see how it's kind of skewed like that. So if we take the hex value of 33, then we set our line width to 51. And you'll see where it skews. And it's kind of hard to see because it's skewed the way it is, but you can see where it's fairly similar.
Fight.
Which one was that? Was that?
Round
yeah.
One. Fight.
So you see how it's kind of skewed here, and then here it's basically skewed. It's basically skewed the same way. So, but that's a neat little introduction to the graphic stuff. So we take this, let's set the line width back. Okay, so we set the line width back. And that's all good. So we take this value. We can close this out now too. We take this value. We pop it back into here. close these out. Run this again. Do the same thing where we uninterleave. To the smaller ones. Now the cool thing about the save states is they don't account for graphics ROMs. So once this gets patched in and it's better, I can run back to the same save state. So these are all saved and done. All right, so let's pull this back over here real quick. Get that out of your guys' way. And let's see, let's close this out so we can get everything pulled back over. Excuse me. All right, let's run this again. Pull this over here real quick. And
Round one. Fight.
there you go. That is the magic of Triborg, of how his nameplate came to be. So that's all I've got for you right now. I may put another video up today a little bit later on, but I'm gonna go with this one for now, show you guys a little bit of magic. So hope this takes a little bit of a place in the streaming tonight. I think you guys will be able to watch Paul some as well. So there it is for you guys, and thanks for watching. Have a good one.